Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. Today I'm going to be playing a live game for you of Zerg vs Terran played on Shakura's Plateau versus a Terran player. I already said Zerg vs Terran, genius. I'm a professional, guys, trust me. I know how to do this whole live, or like this whole, oh my god, I almost said live streaming as well instead of YouTubing. That's the disadvantage of playing live games, okay? Normally, whenever this sort of stuff happens with like a recording of like a game analysis, I would just simply restart the entire recording. But hey, can't really do that because then you guys miss me make the first two drones. And you know, who would not want to see me make the first two drones? Anyway, guys, today is going to be a Zerg vs Terran on Shakura's Plateau, and this map is kind of cool. In the fact that it always used to be one of my absolute favorite maps back in the day. Now nowadays it's kind of not so good. I mean, it's decent in the current map pool especially, but it's not as good as some of the other maps that are out there for sure. But all in all, these games tend to be pretty interesting. Now, the one thing that is kind of difficult on this map to take is the third base. And that is true for most maps currently in the map pool, because taking the third is like really far away from your normal play. But I'm just gonna try and play a standard macro game in this one, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some decent gameplay. So that means I'm likely gonna play some... Actually, let's play some Roach Hydra. Roach Hydra is sort of standard-ish. It's not like completely standard, but it is pretty standard compared to like the other wonky strategies you can do. It's not quite Mutilating Bane, which is something that a lot of people do prefer. But playing Roach Hydra is something that is very common and something that's very strong as well. Especially because most Terran players aren't as used to playing against it. So we're just gonna try our best. I'm gonna open up Gasless, gonna get the double gas geyser at the 5-minute mark. And I'm simply gonna go for a 16 spawning pool and like make a couple of Zerglings early on to make sure that my opponent does not run into my main base with, well, with the shenanigans called Reapers. And I'm gonna be flying in another Overlord right over there or so I can know when he is coming in. So far, this seems to be pretty standard. He's actually also, he also has the option to go over there and replace my Overlords. Looks like he's already adding on a it's actually a pretty late gas right there. Is this a CC first? I think this might very well be a CC first, because the gas guys are just kind of late. Normally the first Reaper would have already been in production right now. Yeah, it's a CC first. Normally the Reaper would have already been in production. Alright, so that's fine with me. Means that my opponent isn't going to put any pressure on me, meaning that I'm also not going to put any pressure on him. So we're sort of having like this agreement where we decided to not attack each other for the first 10 minutes or so. Which is always kind of funny when that happens, because it's like, it takes me back to like the Command and Conquer days. It's like no rush 20 or whatever it was, where you basically would not like rush each other for another while because you were both making a base. That's sort of what's going on right now. I went for a hatch first, he went for a CC first, and we sort of accepted the fact that we are both, you know, not going to be able to make any units for a little while. I could obviously decide to go for some more reasonable and maybe more safe all-round plays, such as like a Roach Bane bust, but I feel like playing some Roach Hydra on this one. Sometimes you need to go just with your gut feeling. Just do whatever you want, because it is a video game after all. It's easy to forget. Gonna run my Zerglings across the map. Just gonna try my very best to do as much damage as possible. And I'm also gonna start the double gas geyser right now at the 5-minute mark, like I mentioned. And he already has a bunker up. Oh, do lose one Zergling right there. That's too bad, but nothing too major. Gonna run my Zerglings straight to the watchtower so I know whenever something is incoming. And I also have two Overlords spotting the side of this map, so my opponent isn't going to be able to sneak out like any kind of, you know, medevacs and whatnot. Alright, there we go. Double gas and double gas is mining right now. Got 4 queens, got 2 dedicated crew spreading, which by the way is absolutely crucial on this map, especially when you want to go for like a third base. You are going to need the crew spread as much as you possibly can. You know, it's kind of difficult if you want to take the base up here, for example, if you don't have your bases connected by creep. So this is good. Gonna be getting the double gas. Actually, it's gonna get the Roach one first. Then I'm gonna get the double gas. And I'm gonna go back to droning. Need one more drone over here. There we go. I'm just trying to squeeze out as many as I possibly can. When I hit 16 drones in my natural, I will also go for the double gas right there. Maybe a little bit before that, but being a little bit safe. Let's get it right now. This seems to be a reasonable time. Alright, looks like my opponent is moving across the map with a couple of Hellions, I think those are. Didn't really get a glimpse of them, but It's to be expected at this time of the game. 7-ish minutes, it's pretty standard after a CC first. So there we go. Great, 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 great. Got double upgrades incoming right now. Got about 16 drones, almost in the natural. Gonna get actually I'm gonna go up to 19 right here, so I can use one to expand. He right now knows that I haven't expanded, okay? He just checked out, which is pretty huge. Alright, gotta keep an eye out on these things. Right now I'm gonna start my massive amount of Roach production. Gonna need a couple before I go for the expansion. Alright, good. Alright, let's shoo him away. Don't really want him to scan right now. That would be too big of a loss for creep. And he's actually checking whether or not I made the other one. Alright. So far so good. So right now he knows about my base. That's alright with me. See, this is the thing. Terran players are really not used to this kind of play, which is really nice for me. Because that means I can basically be safe against pretty much everything that he throws at me. Because, you know, he doesn't know what he's, what he's supposed to build. I don't think he really scanned yet in my base, which is alright. Alright. Gotta move out across the map right now. Roach speed just now finished up. I'm gonna try my best to do as much damage as possible. Well, obviously, double upgrading once more. Alright. Hide then infestation pit and move across the map. Alright. We're gonna run. We're gonna run. Alright. Gonna need more units here. He already stimmed, which is interesting. It's a very quick stim for not a whole lot. I think he was hoping that he could catch me off guard a little bit more than he did. Alright. Should be able to stop this without too much trouble. Alright. Don't want him to scan here, so I'm gonna move in. Alright, he doesn't have any upgrades yet. Not having any upgrades is huge. Gonna replace the creep tumors instantly, which is very important. And I'm gonna go up to a hive, as well as start upgrading, as well as start droning for some hydralisks. Alright, here we go. Didn't really deal a whole lot of damage though. I actually hoped that I would deal a little bit more damage. But the one advantage that I'm having right now, opposed to what you normally would have, is that I have more upgrades. And upgrades are really, really big in Zerg vs Terran especially, because when I hit 3-3 I'm very, very difficult to stop right now. Squeezed in a couple of drones right there. I gotta be careful though that I don't overdrone. If I overdrone right now I'm done. Still gotta make units every now and then. Alright, he did another stim right there, which is good. Alright. You can see the power of upgrades though. Like, the upgrades are really starting to pile on already. And even though my army wasn't looking very impressive right there, it still did a significant amount of damage. Alright, made a big round of drones right there, which is nice. And I'm gonna be starting the second upgrade right there as well. 2-2 is just about to finish up, actually. Didn't realize it was already about to finish. That's really good for us. Means we can move across the map once more with a little bit of a bigger army this time around. I'm also gonna be starting a double gas over here. That's too bad. Alright, 2-2 just finished, as well as ranged. And I can also start producing some greater, or some hive units. I think I'm gonna go for the double upgrades first though. Probably better off with that. Gotta be watching out actually. My opponent does have a pretty big army. Don't know if he's already upgraded, I would like to check that. Oh, I messed this up. Alright. Alright, he's still not upgraded. Which means that my army is really strong right here. Don't really know who's winning this. Can't really see. I think I'm winning this quite convincingly though, knowing that there's no upgrades. Alright, see, my opponent isn't really used to playing against this, which is nice for me, because that means, you know, I'm just gonna be able to pick stuff off pretty easily. This concave is nice as well. He does have a lot of these flying things called medevacs. But other than that, we're fine. Gonna be starting up 3-3 right now, and I'm still attacking right here. Alright, good. Let's move back. Got some pretty good cruise threat as well, actually. That's also helping out a lot. Gonna be getting the 4th base as well. Slowly but surely moving up. And so far I've been in complete control of this game, which is funny. My opponent actually wasn't completely sure what was going on there either. Did you see that? Like, he was trying to figure out why he wasn't really doing so much damage. And that's just simply because of the crazy upgrades that I'm having. Alright, getting some Vipers right now. Vipers are gonna be the nail in the coffin, pretty much. Checking if my opponent has a 3rd. Doesn't look like it. Alright, made a big round of drones right there. I'm gonna saturate those gases early, in case I forget. And I'm getting another Viper right here. And now I'm gonna max out in units. Just gonna make sure that I max out in as much army as I possibly can, while still spreading some creep. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright. Gonna start some static defense here. Especially in like the bases that are easy to drop, such as my natural or my 3rd. And I'm also gonna start some in my 4th, because I can. That's literally the reasoning. Alright. My opponent has a pretty sizable army right now though. It's not ideal, but we do have 3-3 finishing up in a little bit. Not quite yet, sadly, but... Alright, let's go. I actually have a really small army. Maybe I did it a little bit too much in the static defense. But my opponent still doesn't have a 3rd. So everything is honestly alright. Alright, Vipers go in. Alright. Alright, great. I did end up losing 2 Vipers there, which is too bad. But we got plenty of gas at this point to replace them. 3-3 is just now finished up as well, which is really big. And I'm gonna be starting 2 more spines, because it's going to be worth it. And now we're gonna move across the map. There we go. Don't really have my Vipers yet though. Gotta just bring this one. Alright. Spreading creep forward. Alright. That's a huge blinding cloud right there. That's a very quick response, but I had to make the decision if I wanted to or not. Gotta move this guy around. And, oh, this is actually already his army. And he says GG. So sweet! That was actually a very convincing victory right there. Wasn't even remotely close, to be completely honest. And you can really see the strength right here of Roach Hydra. My opponent wasn't completely sure what was going on. And in the end, he just decided to not upgrade any of his marine bio units, simply for the fact that he thought that he couldn't afford it, because I was not going for a 3rd base. Usually if a pro, or if a Terran doesn't, or if a Zerg rather, doesn't go for a 3rd base, that means that they are going to be doing some sort of cheese. And in order to defend cheese, you don't get a 3rd command center, you don't get any upgrades, and you just put down in some bunkers and go for some siege tanks or whatnot. But that never really came, because I was doing a completely opposite of a strategy for that. I was playing a macro build with mainly a focus on upgrades, and that turned out crazy good. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you enjoyed watching this video a lot and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe, because I will be uploading a ton more StarCraft 2 content. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile. And I'll see you in the next one.